Good Wednesday, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Conversation Daily News. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. We, of course, have your news headlines coming up on this hump day. We have the Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich in today's Entertainment Spotlight, even part of my conversation with recording artist Stephen Voice that's celebrating the release of his brand new single, Not Your Type, today. Enjoy today's program. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with your Wednesday headlines. In national news, U.S. move to shorten COVID-19 isolation stirs confusion and doubt. U.S. health officials' decision to shorten the recommended COVID-19 isolation and quarantine period from 10 days to 5 days is drawing criticism from some medical experts and could create more confusion and fear among Americans. To the dismay of some authorities, the new guidelines allow people to leave isolation without getting tested to see if they are still infectious. The guidance has raised questions about how it was crafted and why it was changed now in the middle of another wintertime spike in cases, this one driven largely by the highly contagious Omicron variant. Monday's action by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention cut in half the recommended isolation time for Americans who are infected with coronavirus but have no symptoms. The CDC shortened the amount of time people who have come in close contact with an infected person needs to quarantine as well. The CDC has been under pressure from the public and the private sector, including the airline industry, to shorten the isolation time and reduce the risk of severe staffing shortages amid the Omicron surge. Thousands of flights have been canceled over the past few days and a mess blamed on Omicron. Not all those cases are going to be severe. In fact, many are going to be asymptomatic, CDC Director Rochelle Walensky said on Monday. We want to make sure there is a mechanism by which we can safely continue to keep society functioning while following the science. CDC officials said the guidance is in keeping with growing evidence that people with the virus are most infectious in the first few days. The CDC move follows global efforts to adjust isolation rules, with policies differing from country to country. In more national news, police say 5 killed, including gunmen, in Denver area shooting. Police were investigating Tuesday after a gunman went on a shooting rampage through several business districts in the Denver area, killing 4 people and wounding 3 others, including an officer, as police pursued him. The suspect also died Monday night after exchanging gunfire with officers in a shopping district in the Denver suburb of Lakewood, police said. Police said they were still investigating what led to the shootings, which mostly happened in commercial areas. The shootings started shortly after 5 p.m. in central Denver along Broadway, a busy street lined by shops, bars, and restaurants, where 2 women were killed and a man was injured. On Tuesday, candles and flower bouquets rested in the doorway of a nearby tattoo shop. A short time later, a man was fatally shot in another location. Gunshots were also fired along another busy street near Denver Health Hospital, but no one was injured, the police said. Later, Denver police chased a vehicle believed to have been involved in the shootings and exchanged gunfire with the person inside, but the suspect was able to get away after disabling the police car. The suspect then fled into Lakewood. A gunshot victim was later found and pronounced dead at the scene. When officers found the car suspected of being involved in the shopping area shooting, the suspect opened fire and officers shot back. The suspect ran away and allegedly threatened someone in a business with a gun before going into a Hyatt hotel and shooting a clerk who was taken to the hospital. After an officer was wounded, police and the suspect exchanged fire again, and the suspect died. It was not immediately clear if police officers had shot him. In more national news, U.S. home prices surged 18% in October. U.S. home prices surged again in October as the housing market continues to boom in the wake of last year's coronavirus recession. The S&P CoreLogic Case-Shiller 20-City Home Price Index out on Tuesday climbed 18% in October from a year earlier. The gain marked a slight deceleration from a 19% year-over-year increase in September, but was about in line with what economists had been expecting. All 20 cities posted double-digit annual gains. The hottest markets were Phoenix, Tampa, and Miami. Minneapolis and Chicago posted the smallest increases. The housing market has been strong thanks to rock-bottom mortgage rates, a limited supply of homes on the market, and pent-up demand from consumers locked in last year by the pandemic. Many Americans tired of being cooped up at home during the pandemic are looking to trade up from apartments to homes or to bigger homes. And finally, in business news, stocks ended mixed on Tuesday, breaking 4-day winning streak for S&P 500. A wobbly day of trading on Wall Street left stock indexes mixed on Tuesday, pulling the S&P 500 just below its latest record high. The benchmark index slipped 0.1% after wavering between modest gains and losses. The slight loss snapped a 4-day winning streak for the index, which set an all-time high on Monday. The Dow Jones Industrial Average rose 0.3%, and the Nasdaq fell 0.6%. Roughly 60% of the companies in the S&P 500 rose, but a slide in technology, healthcare, and communication stocks outweighed the gains in industrial firms, household goods makers, and elsewhere in the market. Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. It's now time for the Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich. Mary Ellen, take it away.
Hi, I'm Mary Ellen with your Truth of the Day. Always trust your inner strength. When you find yourself feeling vulnerable about opening your heart or about trusting the motives of another, it will be helpful for you to explore these feelings in depth in your knowings. Consider whether you are coming from a fear of loss or lack of confidence. Take time to build up a strong sense of inner security and emotional stability, as this will help you to feel more confident. You can build up this sense of self through trusting yourself to take small risks when opportunities present themselves. Feelings of distrust or any negative feelings are often inspired by memories of painful past experiences. Through risking, you enhance your awareness of self, allowing you to feel dynamically whole. Now you can heal your painful past and become able to love yourself and share your love and all of your talents with the world. Today, nurture yourself by trusting your inner strength. And remember to enjoy the day.
We are part of my conversation coming up with recording artist Stephen Voice in today's Entertainment Spotlight. Stay with us. You're listening to Conversation Daily News. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with your Entertainment Spotlight. Recording artist Stephen Voice joined me recently on Conversations Live, the radio show, to talk about his new single, Not Your Type, and his musical journey. Here's a bit of our conversation.
First of all, congratulations on the brand new single, Not Your Type. I want to talk, though, about this journey for you that kind of led you here. What has it been like for you, Stephen, to do what you love when it comes to music, and then to be able to share that with all of us?
Absolutely. Well, I mean, my music journey, I think the cliche answer is that it started, when I was a kid. I lived in a household that listened to Michael Jackson. My mom was a massive fan. But to be honest, it's only when my mom passed away a few years ago that I turned to my dream, my passion to create and use it as an outlet to kind of release a lot of pain. And that's where my professional journey began as an artist. That's where I started taking the music seriously and putting it out there for the world to hear.
Yeah. So I want to talk about the comfort level of that, because I'm always fascinated, Stephen. I have gifts, but singing and dancing are not two of the gifts that I that I have. So I'm always curious about the process, because even in my industry, of course, my being from Mississippi, the two people would always compare me to are the two people from Mississippi that they knew, Tavis Smiley and Oprah Winfrey, right? So they're like, you're going to be the next Tavis Smiley, you're going to be the next Oprah, you're the male Oprah. That was the thing going around for a while. But for me, it was all just about being myself. I bring that to this conversation because I'm curious, how did you decide in having different musical interests and then still being able to be yourself as an artist?
Wow. I think for me, it always just kind of boils down to being my true, authentic self. It never really felt like something I had to choose. It kind of felt like this is just something that I am. And the worst thing I felt would be to be anything other than that.
Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. We thank you all for tuning in to this edition of Conversations Daily News. Provide you guys on tomorrow for more news, Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich, and of course your Entertainment Spotlight. Until then, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Daily News today. Let's make it a great one.